Alright, now I should have mentioned this the other day when I, or taking a video of it more so, when I was reaming the cylinders with my reaming tool, that on certain cylinders, or maybe just too much stuff built up, this side obviously you can tell I use the reamer judging by the marks, but there's also an easier, I wouldn't say easier, but maybe it is, it's definitely cheaper if you don't have the tool, an easier way to, cheaper way of doing it. And that's just basically by using a can of WD-40 and a razor blade. Now, I know a lot of you might be thinking that's crazy, you're going to scratch the inside of your cylinders and all that, but this razor blade won't be doing any significant amount of damage that honing will take care of, won't take care of. So, pretty much the reason why I had to switch to using a razor blade for a little bit was because on the other side, or it might have been that it was on the other side of cylinders, that's for sure. It might have been that the reaming tool itself, on the little legs that stick out, I don't think they were expanding properly, so I wasn't finding perfect center. And I noticed after a couple of uses it started to wobble a little bit. So I don't know if that was user error or too much carbon had built up on the little fins and it wasn't allowing it to find true center. But I ended up using an old method that I've heard some old timers use before, and that's using a razor blade or some flat rounded piece of metal and WD-40. You loosen it with the WD-40, keep your razor blade wet, and pretty much all I did was just kind of, you stay where the carbon line is, try not to go below it, and kind of just back drag it like so until you get the carbon off. Now you can keep back dragging it until you take it off, and then maybe after you get down to a certain point, you feel comfortable with it, you can go ahead and try to etch it off. You have to try to keep the blade of the razor blade as flat as possible. You don't want it to angle in with the point or kind of cut in at all, but you'll be able to feel it. And like I said, just stay in the carbon line that needs to be reamed off anyways, and go ahead and take care of that. Odds are, since you've already glazed this area down here of your cylinder, it's already that much more worn than this carbon line, because the rings don't even touch it. So even if you do get a couple small scratches, like I was saying, you're going to hone it out afterwards anyways. As long as you're not gouging into the side here, you're fine. So that's just another simple way of taking care of it. Like I was told by a few people, oh, you need a reaming tool, you need a reaming tool. I really didn't after doing this. And this is how I actually cleaned up a weed whacker motor a long time ago when I was younger, and I'm surprised I actually didn't remember this, but that's how I took care of it back then, just kind of back dragging. And then after you get so much down, you want to get the fine stuff, just lightly go across, and as you can see there, it actually built up a little bit of carbon and oil. I'm still able to pull the pistons out the way it is right now, but because of that one time or it was a couple times that my reamer couldn't find center, I did end up gouging the cylinder on the other side, and it wasn't anything drastic. It was in the carbon line, so I'm not too concerned about it, and it wasn't anything deep, but even I don't think honing will completely get rid of it. So if you want to save some money, instead of buying a reamer, just buy yourself a pack of razor blades for, I don't know, $2-3, and most of you have a can of WD-40 laying around, so that should all work. Well, I'm going to go ahead and call it for this little video, and I'm going to record my honing here shortly. So stay tuned for that one.